Oh, sorry, I've been streaming when I meant to be recording. So now I got a situation where I got 5 minutes of recording and 5 minutes of streaming, which I'm gonna have to find a way to put that together. So those who don't know, my name is Tommy Mav, um, and I was speaking about the situation of Jeff Hardy and my belief that Jeff Hardy is a product of this new era of people who I believe in my heart of hearts, it's where most of these guys end up. Most of them end up stuck in these situations because the truth of the matter is there's no upward motion when you are a wrestler. So a lot of them end up depending on substance abuse because they end up having to do this stuff for so long. I mean, think about it. Think about the best workers of all time. Your Bret Hart, Owen Hart, Eddie Guerrero, Chris Benoit. They all end up dead or in a real bad position in life because you cannot make a sustainable life. And you're cutting your shelf life when you wrestle like that and you're doing all these flips and you're throwing your body into the mat, 365 days a year. You cut your shelf life in half, meaning you're not gonna you cut the amount of years you can wrestle, which cuts the amount of years you can actually make money and be viable in the industry before you start taking peanuts because your body what made you popular you can't do anymore. I mean, look at Rey Mysterio. What made you popular you can't do anymore, and you're not. But the good thing about Rey Mysterio is he is a big enough star to now be able to make money off his celebrity. But most of these guys are not big enough to make money off their celebrity, and then they beating their body up too much to be able to continue to keep wrestling. So when you look at a guy like Jeff Hardy is known if you're a wrestling fan. He is not known if you're not a wrestling fan. The Hardy Boys came around just after the boom, right after The Rock and all those guys left, or released on the downside of their career. That's when the Hardy Boys kind of broke out. They were never really as big as the Attitude Era guys. They were always just like a tad low on that edge level. So they were never really great to begin with. And when you have guys like that who don't put button seats, nobody's going to show up to watch you do a drop toe hold unless it's in the storyline. And if it's not in the storyline, we really don't care. So, to be honest, I really just I really just think that a lot of these guys they make their bed, and then when they're 40, because most of them don't even make bust into the industry until they're about 36, 37. So by the time they hit about 44, 45, they're already washed up. They haven't really made big money because the average wrestler who's a lower tier guy probably makes anywhere between 120 to $250,000. So it's not terrible, but it's definitely the low level, like majority of low level NFL guys make that, and the NFLs are some of the lowest paid athletes out of all the men's sports. So that's what they are. They're like lower tier paid, and then there's no other way you can be able to feel financially secure on that. You're generally probably going to have to continue to keep making money over a long period of time. And even though, because you think about that, it would take them at least 4 years to make a meal. And that's before taxes. So after taxes, it probably would take them anywhere between 4 or 5 years to make a meal, and even at a meal, you're not, with your expenses and stuff like that, you probably ain't even close to that then. So a lot of them are not millionaires. They're not making the type of money to be able to do that, and inevitably, I think they end up where Jeff Hardy was, which was you end up relying on substance abuse and painkillers and things to help you cope and get through the grind of being a wrestler. Because I heard someone ask Ultimate Warrior that. Ultimate Warrior was like, how do you think you're, this thing about, you can't really survive in the industry without painkillers. Ultimate Warrior was like, I never did that. He was like, I would take maybe some painkillers every now and again because sometimes you do experience that. Because Ultimate Warrior can say that because Ultimate Warrior didn't have to really beat himself up over a grind. Ultimate Warrior would show up, slam a couple people, have a 3-minute match and be done with it. He wasn't making intricate matches where he practicing slamming himself on his back and on his head and on his neck and all this, that, and the third. pile driving himself through panes of glass, getting slammed on tacks, getting hit in the face with straps and 2x4. That's not what Ultimate Warrior did, so he didn't have to worry about that. Hulk Hogan could do it for years and years because he never had to do that. You know what I'm saying? These got the bigger guys, your Undertakers and Triple H. They never had to do those things, so they could last a long period of time because they themselves were the ticket. They just had to step in the ring and people would be in awe of them. Wrestlers, your Jeff Hardy's having to flip off tables, flipped off 20 feet ladders into tables. Come on, man. How did you think that was going to end with that dude? You think he's going to end up, a normal dude after doing that, but you having to do stuff like that for 20 years? Because the truth of the matter is they don't respect him unless he does stuff like that. I saw him in his run with WWE. They kind of lost interest in him because he wasn't doing those crazy things that made him Matt Hardy. And that's what happened. You have to keep feeding the animal. You can't just do it for a little while and think, oh, well, I'm done with it. No, you got to keep doing it. Even when you're 60, you're 50. Look at Rey Mysterio. You have to keep doing it. You can't be like Hulk Hogan, come in and do a punch and kick somebody out of the ring and everybody be going because your character is the way you look. You don't have to do anything special except for show up. So, in my opinion, I'm not really surprised by anything any of these people do, to be honest. Because I think that is the end of the road for majority of these workers. You know what I'm saying? That's the end of the road for them. They're going to end up on substance abuse in and out of prison because none of them can really sustain a long level of viability and longevity making money in this industry. I mean, I saw AEW. That shit is the worst excuse for a fake WWE you will ever find. That junk is the worst excuse. Is a fake WWE. That's all it is. A fake WWE. I mean, it's terrible. I tried to watch like 10 minutes of it, and it was just WWE on a lower budget. NXT on a lower budget. The interviews, like I said, it's never going to become anything. But it's the new thing, so obviously the smarts are going to cheer for it because it's new and nobody knows about it, so they can feel smarter than everybody else when they talk about it. The truth of the matter is that stuff is shitty and nobody's going to like that either. So, and you see people like Dusty Rhodes, whatever his name is, Cody Rhodes, and I saw Goldust there. It's like, come on, man. Like, the time has passed. You got to be damn near 40 or 45, 50 years old at this point. Like you're not a young guy. You're just a guy now. You always were just a guy, and now you're just a guy in your own company. It's crazy to me. But anyway, that's what I want to do. I just want to stop here and give my opinion on the whole Jeff Hardy situation, and tell a lot of these younger workers. Get a close look, because that's your future. You can bust your ass and do all these flips, but at the end of the day, the best you can hope for is this. This is the best you can hope for. Sitting in there slamming yourself into the mat, doing flips, hitting yourself with boards and getting slapped on the back to the point that your back getting split open. At the end of the day, all it's doing is keeping you viable, keeping you from being kicked out. It's not making you no money, and in the long run, it will not make you any money. I think it's utterly ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? And these fans are the worst type of fans. I don't want a fan that wants me to hurt myself. I don't want a fan that cheers when I bust my head wide open. I don't want a fan who says you're hardcore because I can't walk in 2 days. Just not my cup of tea, and I think you're an idiot if you're catering to that type of fan base, because you're not going to be viable. Anyways, I spoke on it, and that's what I wanted to speak on. So please comment, let me know what you think about this whole situation with Jeff Hardy. And hopefully he gets better. But I just, like I said, I think that is the ending place for majority of these workers. So, like I said, comment, let me know what you think. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed, and thumbs it up. All right, y'all. Peace.